Put Chaz on the beat, the best producer in Louisiana. If you don't believe me, go to his YouTube page. Check him out. He also has his own website. My name is Sidney Combs, and I'm a young entrepreneur from Shreveport, Louisiana with $1 in the dream. Name of this video, Become the Most Consistent. I'm gonna read something real quick. Junior Bridgeman. Despite never making more than $350,000 a season during his NBA career, Bridgeman has a net worth of over $600 million, making him one of the wealthiest former athletes in the world. During the off-season of his playing career, Bridgeman worked and learned the business model of Wendy's fast food restaurant franchise. After retiring from the NBA, he invested in the franchise and eventually owned over 100 various Wendy's and Chili's restaurants before selling in 2016. As president and CEO of Bridgeman Foods Incorporation in 2017, Bridgeman became a bottler for Coca-Cola Company. And in 2018, he signed a letter of intent to buy bottling operations in Canada. In December 2020, Bridgeman, through Bridgeman Sports and Media, bought Ebony and Jet for $14 million after the magazine had declared bankruptcy earlier in the year. The reason why I'm reading that is because this man, after each season in the off season, was working at Wendy's. He was working and learning that company throughout his 12-year NBA career. Then afterwards, he got into having his own franchise and slowly worked into buying more and more and more and more. Let that sink in for a second. He was able to do that because he was consistent. Whatever you're trying to do in life, you have to focus and work to become the most consistent. One thing in order to become the most consistent, that you can't take your foot off the gas. At the end of the day, if it's something that you want out of life, you have to be willing to get up every morning and go after your dream, go after your goals. There's going to be obstacles that's going to come your way, but you got to figure out a way to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. Because while you're going towards your dream, there's a person that's right behind you that's doing whatever they can to pass you. So you got to keep your foot on the gas, because as soon as you start slowing down, there's someone that's going to pass you. The one thing about becoming the most consistent is that you have to have a scarcity mindset. You have to understand that you have to do whatever it takes in order for you to accomplish your goal. A lot of people, they have goals and dreams, but they don't have a scarcity mindset. And without that scarcity mindset, then what that means is you have a mindset of, hey, I have another option. This is I have a plan B and a plan C. But the person with their plan A that's doing whatever they have to do to survive, they're going to be the one that's normally going to find a way to win. I'll give you an example. Let's say at the end of the day you have two young men that play ball. Let's say you have one young man that play ball at Southwood High School, another one that plays ball at Huntington High School. The one that plays at Southwood High School come from a two-parent household. his parents are doing well financially. That kid already knows what he wants to go to school for career-wise. And his mindset is set up on going into that career field once he graduates from college. Okay? Let's say you have the kid from Huntington that comes from the hood. At the end of the day, his parents don't have the best financial situation. He doesn't have the best grades in school. His mindset is going to be a survival mindset, which is going to be to a point where he has to do whatever it takes in order for him to get to the top. He doesn't have a plan B. So his plan A has to work. He's going to be more willing to put in the work because there's no plan B. So that young man, he's going to be the one that's going to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and run 4 or 5 miles. He's going to be the one that's going to watch what he put in his body so he can perform at his peak. He's going to be the one that's going to get 500 to 1,000 jump shots a day. He's going to be the one that's going to get 1,000 squats in every single day. He's going to be the one that's willing to go the extra mile. The one that has other options, he might not be as quick to go the extra mile. That mindset is huge. If you have that mindset when it comes to your business to where, hey, this has to work. It has to work. I'm willing to do whatever it takes for it to work. There's no plan B. There's a pretty good chance that business will be successful. But most people, they go into the world and they're already expecting it to fail. And they already have a plan B. So they don't put their all into the plan A. That's a huge problem. Another thing to become the most consistent is that you can't lose hope. A lot of times in life what happens is people lose hope. So within the first 4 years of their business, their business normally fails. Why? Because they go into it with no hope. And then not only do they go into it with no hope, they expect people around them with no hope to support them. But if someone wasn't able to go after their dreams, they weren't able to go after their goals, how can you expect that person to believe in you? They can't give you that because they don't even believe in themselves. See, a lot of times we're looking for hope and we're expecting to get hope from individuals that doesn't have any hope. And that's why it's so important that you have to believe in you. You have to be your biggest fan. Because there are going to be days when your business makes a lot of money. There are going to be days when your business doesn't make a lot of money. And then it comes down to, okay, how much hope do you have in yourself? There are going to be times when you're trying to go to college and maybe things not quite going the way you want to go in school. But you have to have hope and believe in yourself. You have to understand that you can accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish. You have to believe in you first. And whatever anyone else does on the outside is a bonus. So it's very important to not lose hope in yourself. Another thing is to become the most consistent. If you own a business and you say that every day your business is supposed to close at 9, you have to close at 9. You can't say my business closes at 9, but today you close at 9, tomorrow you close at 7, the day after that you close at 5, the day after that you close at 6:45. If 9 o'clock is the closing time, you have to make 9 o'clock the closing time every day. I see a lot of businesses where you have your own business and you're supposed to be open on Sundays. And some Sundays you don't open up. Why? I'm expecting you to be open on Sundays. I'm expecting to come shop with you. I'm expecting to come spend with you. But when you're not open, guess what happens? Now, I don't know if you're going to be available because you're not consistent. So now it's a good chance I'm going to go to a different business to spend my money. Why? Because you're not consistent. You're not available. When I first started cutting hair, I wasn't a great barber. But what I had to understand is I have to be consistent. I have to be available. So there were certain days where there would be a lot of people at the shop when I would go in to cut. And there were days where there's only one or two people. And some days I might go to the shop and I don't cut a head. There's no one there for me to cut. But guess what? I still have to be at that barbershop. I still have to be available for my customers. That's the only way I'm going to be able to build up my clientele. They have to know that they can depend on me. If they thinking, oh man, well, I don't know if he's going to be at work today. Guess what happens? It's a good chance they might look for another barber. They call my phone, they ready to set an appointment. I have to be available for them. I have to be ready for them. I have to be prepared for them. A lot of times people wonder, they say, man, my business is not taking off, but it's because they don't know when you're going to be open. Then even when it comes to product, they don't know if you're going to have the product because a lot of times you're out of stock. Sometimes you can be out of stock and you can't help it. Sometimes you're out of stock because you didn't put enough effort in. You have to put the effort in. And that's another thing when it comes to your business. Effort. Effort is key. How can you be the most consistent when you put very little effort in whatever it is you do? If someone depends on you to get a job done and you're working for them, you're trying to help them build their business, you have to put more effort in. You have to be the individual that's going to put the most effort that you possibly can put in. You can't be lazy on a job. You can't be a person that just do whatever it is that you want to do when you want to do it. That's not beneficial. Because then when you have lack of effort, there's a good chance that they'll replace you to find the person that can put the effort in. That's very important. And you live in a society where people don't put in effort and then they get upset when people have an issue with them not putting the effort in. How is that possible? How is it possible for you to expect to receive a huge payday when you're not willing to put the work in? You put very little effort in. But then when you go throughout life and you put little effort in, guess what happens? It's inconsistent. You have a life that's very inconsistent because you don't put any effort in. Effort is key when it comes to consistency. Effort is key when it comes to growth. How can you grow your business when the employees are inconsistent? Because they put lack of effort in. Lack of effort is key. So whatever job it is that you work at, you need to make sure that you're putting the effort in that's necessary for that job to flourish. Because that job depends on you. If they're hiring you to do a job, guess what? They're depending on you. They're relying on you. That means they need you. But what are you going to do to hold up your end of the bargain? But then when the company gets a $10 million bonus, now you want to get paid your portion of the bonus. But then when that person say, hey, I'm going to pay you little money because you gave me little effort, now you think that person did you wrong. How? How can they do you wrong or for paying you little when you gave little effort? When you give a lot of effort, you get a big reward. When you give little effort, you get a little reward. That's why it's so important to be consistent at whatever it is you do. You get what you give. A lot of times in life, people wonder why their businesses doesn't take off. They wonder why. The main reason why their business don't take off is because they don't give anything. All they do is have their hand out. And they're waiting for someone to give them something. And they sit there and complain, man, people not supporting my business. What are you giving? Think about this for a second. When I first started cutting hair, I used to go to projects, I used to go to the bad neighborhoods, and I would pass out a business card. And the business card, when I first started, would say first cut free. Now, I wasn't a very good barber when I very first started, but I would cut a first haircut free. And by doing that, I got a lot of people to start knowing who I was. They started figuring out who I am. So I started getting attention. And what happened was, some of the customers would say, hey, let me give you a tip because you're giving me a free service. I gave them something and they would give me something in return. Why? Because they understand how the world operates and the energy. See, energy is key in the world because what you give is what you get. A lot of people don't get anything in life because they don't give anything. And that doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, you have to give in order to get. If you're a person that's not willing to give for the person that you're with in whatever area that they need you to give in, guess what? You'll get little in return. A lot of people's lives are not the way that they want them to be, and they complain, they whine, but they don't understand that you don't give anything. You give no effort. You give no energy. But then you want the world to come back and give you things. That'll never happen on this planet. That'll never happen. The people that you see that's the most successful, they're the most successful because of what they give. When you think of Amazon, they give a service. When you think of Apple, they give a service. Microsoft, they give a service. Google, they give a service. Tesla, they give a service. Ford, they give a service. Brookshire's, they give a service. Circle K, they give a service. Listen to the word I keep saying in each company. Give, 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 give. And when they give you something, you get something in return. This is key. You have people that are very mature, up in age, that does not understand that. Selfish people get no results out of life. None. Everyone you see wealthy, they're the most givers you'll ever meet. I promise you. Because at the end of the day, it takes support in order for you to get to that level of income. You can't get there without support. You have to give. A lot of people have businesses in the neighborhoods and they wonder like, oh man, people don't support. Well, what are you giving back to the community? If you're not giving anything to the community not going to keep giving to you. That'll never happen. Another thing is to be patient. Patience is key. The average person that becomes a millionaire becomes it around 60 years old. 60. So you have a lot of young people that's in a rush to become wealthy. And they don't understand that the average person getting around 60. So now, at the end of the day, I'm 38 years old. When I read that, I was like, dog, I got at least another 20 years. If I just keep doing what I'm doing, stay consistent, keep investing, work on my business I own now, and at the same time, I have things in the future that I'm focusing on, I get there. Trust me. Because I will be a millionaire. It will happen. But why? Being patient. Staying consistent. Just keep going after my goals and my dreams. See, the patient part, when you're young, you don't understand that. So you see a youngster that's 18, 20, 22, and he want to be rich. But he don't understand that most people that's wealthy, they don't get it until they're close to 60. You have rappers. A rapper, he can be in his early mid-20s, some 30, a little over 30. And they get into the game and they want to get to the money. They drop an album and let's say it don't sell well. they drop another mixtape or album, and it doesn't stream well. And now they get to a point where they start losing hope. You got to be patient though. You have to keep dropping. You have to promote. Build relationships with other people. A lot of times, rappers, they don't even build relationships with other people because everybody beefing with each other. So now you can't get on because the relationships you're building with people. But be patient. Keep going. You in your early 20s, keep dropping music. If there's a club event, you need to be at that club event. People need to know who you are. You need to be finding a way to get on the radio. You need to be finding a way to get with the local DJs. Build a relationship with these people. If you got the biggest DJs in the city and they don't know who you are and you said you want to be big in the game, how can you be big in the game when you don't even conquer your city? Conquer your city. If you're a music producer, conquer your city. If you are up and coming business owner, conquer your city. People so quick to get online and everything else. It's like, man, you haven't even conquered the city you live in. And you live in a city with only 5,000 people in, 10,000 people in. When are you going to conquer the city that you're in? Shreveport has what? Close to 200,000 people. When are you going to conquer Shreveport? If you're an inspiring artist here, you have to get to a point of staying patient and consistent. Keep doing what you're doing. It's going to take time. If it could happen overnight, wouldn't everybody be famous? Wouldn't everybody be wealthy? But everybody's not. So work on being more patient. Work on sticking to the game plan. Stand on your grind. So if you want to be the most consistent, keep your foot on the gas. If you want to be the most consistent, don't lose hope. If you want to be the most consistent, focus on being the most consistent, being reliable. If you want to be the most consistent, give and then you'll get in return. If you want to be the most consistent, be patient. If you work on these qualities, I promise you your business will grow. I promise you in school you'll be better. I promise you your rap career will go better. I promise you your marriage will be better. I promise you whatever it is will be better. For the kids, if you're a kid and you go to school, bring your teacher an apple. Bring them a Pop-Tart. Do something for your teacher. Give them something. Maybe then, when you're struggling in school, maybe that teacher will stay after school 15, 20 minutes and help tutor you. Maybe that teacher, at the end of the day, if you're the one that give them an apple or something, maybe that teacher be willing, if you miss your assignment, for you to allow you to make it up. See, this thing about success, it works even when you're a kid. It's best to teach your kids these things. So when they become adults, they already understand how to build relationships with people. And you've already taught them to become the most consistent. Teach your kids to be the most consistent. My name is Sidney Combs, and I'm a young entrepreneur from Shreveport, Louisiana, with $1 and a dream. Who is Childs on the beat? Go to this young man's Facebook page. Like and subscribe. If you're an up and coming artist, he got beats on there that you can maybe can freestyle on. He has personal beats he can make for you. You can purchase from him. Support this young man. Support my channel. I'm not asking you for a dime. I don't ask you for no cash out, anything. All I'm asking you to do, take your finger, hit the like button. Take your finger, hit the subscribe button. Take your finger, hit the share button. Share this content with someone you know. We always say there's no positive messages out here in the world anymore. But now you have a positive message coming from me. I'm staying consistent to what I'm doing. Are you gonna support this page? I've been dropping videos every Saturday. Support me. Be ready for the next video. Each Saturday night I'm dropping another video. My name is Sidney Combs.